You're good at it, buddy.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the 863 Sports Buzz NFL Kickoff Edition. We are
Yeah,
here with your
baby.
hosts, Donnie Mac and Marshentime. We're gonna
What's
have
up,
some fun
baby?
today, man. Donnie Mac, how you feeling over there, man? Kicking
I
off
feel
NFL.
I'm feeling pretty good, Marshentime, man. It's NFL kickoff night. We got some college football tonight. We got the NFL finally after all of our preseason predictions and all of us
It
talking,
starts it
hashing it
going
back
off,
and
man.
there. Here it goes, buddy. Here it goes.
Woo! I'm ready.
And finally,
I'm ready,
it's a
man.
big
I'm ready.
relief, a big stress relief on me.
Yeah, I mean, football, there's nothing better to watch, you know what I mean? That
Hey,
first game of the year, it's going to be fun.
do we have any fantasy players going into tonight's game? I don't
Um,
think we do we?
I have to look at that real fast. Let
I
me take a look
I
real
think we
fast.
took a wide receiver from Detroit, but
Oh
I
yeah, we
don't
got
know.
Amon St. Brown.
Yeah, are
We got
we?
Amon
I
St.
think
Brown.
we.
Yeah.
Do you think we should start him tonight
Oh
against a
yeah,
depleted?
you have to start St. Brown, dude. Come on.
Yeah,
St. Brown's just
going.
always that consistent guy.
So we're pulling for St. Brown tonight. A real speedster. I see him hauling in at least 6 catches for 90 yards and a
Oh yeah.
touchdown tonight because there is no pass rush. Jared Goff. You know, he was pretty good at going downfield late last year, but he got his thing going. I really like St. Brown's chances tonight.
I like it. Let's do it. Hey man, we're rooting for him. I'm seeing like you're saying six, man. He's more of a possession receiver. I'm gonna go with like 8 catches and 92 yards and a touchdown. That's my
Nice.
prediction
Good
for
call.
Amon today.
I'll take those extra 2 catches from you.
Hey
I'll
man,
take those
yeah,
two.
PPR league, baby.
So, Marshentime, the NFL is kicking off. What is your big thought for this whole season, barring any of your preseason predictions? Because a lot of things has changed since a
That is
month and
true.
a half
Yeah, when
before
we did our
now.
predictions.
What are you thinking about? What are you trying to expect throughout this season kicking
Listen,
off
man.
tonight?
I don't even know what to expect. This year's gonna be crazy. I think the AFC is gonna dominate the NFC most of the time.
I think so too. Yeah.
And the AFC is just that much better. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope the NFC comes back with some teams. But other than San Francisco and Philadelphia, I don't really see any teams in the NFC that can give a real good run against the AFC teams. I really don't, and that's just how I see it.
I think that's a really good point that you make, especially with Bosa, the whole signing with San
Yeah,
Francisco,
that's
setting
exciting, right?
records,
They're putting that
setting
defense back
records
up,
for.
man.
Oh
That
man,
defense is
that's
ready
what
to
you got to
roll.
do.
I feel bad
Right,
for
that's
Kenny Pickett.
exact.
That's all I gotta say.
Hey, and you know what? Our number one draft pick, CMC, looks that much better with Bosa on the other side of the ball
Hundred
and
percent.
slowing a lot of things down. And that made me so happy when that broke news today. As far as defense goes, San Francisco's got to be a top three in anybody's book,
Oh, 100%.
especially with Bosa coming in. I really like their chances. Like you said, San Fran and Philadelphia are probably the two best teams to talk about in the NFC,
Oh,
barring the
100%.
whole AFC. You
Yeah,
got
the
two
AFC's tough,
divisions.
man. I don't know who you're gonna go
Wow.
with in the AFC. I really
Oh my
don't.
God.
Like it's such a great division.
It's a toss
The
up
North,
between
the
the North
East.
and the
It's
East. I mean, it's a
yeah.
real
I mean, and then
toss up.
Kansas City in the West. I mean, you never know what the West. The West can have
You
some
got
strong teams. You never know, man.
you got Los Angeles over there too. You
Yeah.
can't count them out.
And
And
who
I'm
knows what
talking
the
of.
The Vegas and you know Broncos do? You don't
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah. You don't know because Sean Payton coming in with Russell
Yeah,
Wilson. That could be the quarterback coach he needed to turn things around. He's
true.
talking crap to him. He's trying to motivate him. And Russell Wilson's come out in the media and said, this guy really knows what he's doing. He's
Yeah, I mean
surprising
he
me.
does. I
Eh,
mean,
That number one, you know how I feel about Pete Carroll. That number one is saying a lot about Sean Payton when he's coming from Pete Carroll 2 years
true.
ago. When he's talking like that about Sean Payton, Pete Carroll is one of the best quarterbacks coaches
Yeah,
around.
I mean
And
that's a good point. That's a very good
and,
point.
and when he comes stepping in like that, that could be the AFC is just so wicked. That's a hailstorm of football, is what that is. That's a
I'm excited to see
hailstorm.
who makes the playoffs in this, man. I'm excited.
It doesn't
The
matter.
playoffs,
Defense,
the playoffs are going to
offense.
be insane. I think in the AFC.
So let me ask you this real quick, Martian
All right,
time.
all
On
right.
the
What you got?
NFL kickoff, your preseason predictions, you
Yeah,
had the
yeah.
Bengals and the Eagles
I do. I
in the
do.
Super Bowl,
I do.
with the Eagles winning, Joe Burrow
Yep.
winning the
Yep.
MVP. Does any of those thoughts change at this point as we kick off tonight?
Listen, man, Joe Burrow's injury is kind of scaring me a little bit. I want to see how that's going to happen, but with Travis Kelsey hurt right now, I think that's going to hurt Pat Mahomes a little bit. So I
It
don't think
sure
that's going
will.
to change. But as long as Burrow stays healthy, and talking about staying healthy is a very important part here. I think he still wins MVP. The Super Bowl is just so tough, man, because the NFC, I'm not changing. I'm not changing anything. I feel like Philadelphia's going to run it through, and they're going to get their first Super Bowl. So
You got to
that's
see
just me.
something different from the NFC. I understand. I
Yeah,
understand.
I don't see anything different changing.
You got to see something different. You know what? I'd like to say the Giants and Dallas could give up the Eagles a fight, but you know what? And
No, they're not gonna. They got a
realistically,
chance.
it's been the same thing every year. That's been repetitive, and the
Oh yeah,
Eagles have shown throughout the last couple of years that they are the team to beat in that division. There's
hundred
no
percent.
question about that. Yeah. And then you know what? What really I want to see is San Francisco and Philadelphia in that NFC Championship. That will be a showdown. That will
Yeah, I
be
think
a showdown.
it's gonna be a lot different than last year. I
It
mean,
will be.
they were on their what? They were on CMC as their quarterback. I mean, that's just a disaster waiting to happen.
So it's kind of odd to pick the one of two NFC strongest teams to win the Super Bowl when you got a plethora of AFC teams that are
I do,
prized and poised with young quarterbacks, skilled quarterbacks,
but see, I think that's the
leading
problem right there.
quarterbacks.
They're in the playoffs. That's going to drag them down. Like they're going to have hard fought battle after hard fought battle after hard fought battle, and I think that's going to kind of drill them down a little bit. While Philadelphia is going to have like kind of pretty much a cakewalk into the Super Bowl, except for San Francisco. And they're
Hmm.
gonna play San Francisco and they're gonna beat San Francisco again, and I think that's one of the main reasons that they're gonna win the Super Bowl is because they're gonna have a whole lot easier way in. The AFC is gonna have to
Hey,
fight tough, and they're all gonna be exhausted. I think at end of the year.
hey, that's a very good point. That's a very good point because when you're running, number one, I played wide receiver in school. I played wide receiver after school. And you know what? It's hard to run a go route on 3 out of 4 downs every series. It's
Yeah,
very freaking hard. I ran a 4 or 5 back then, and that's what I had to do every time, dude. I had to run and just keep running, and I would never get the ball. Even though I was open, the quarterback wasn't good enough to drop the ball in the breadbasket. And you know what? I was gassed at halftime. I was really gassed. So I understand what you're doing. I didn't condition like these NFL stars. I don't have to. I didn't have to stuff. But that's a very good point that you make. These guys, when you're steady offense and shooting down the field, shooting down
it's
the
rough,
field,
man. I mean, it's
it's
mentally
rough.
draining. You're in those tough
Man,
games, it's mentally draining as well.
man, that's a
That's
bad
just the way
deal.
I
That's
see
a
about
bad
it.
deal.
But hey,
It's a
man,
very good point. What
What
else
do
you
you
got,
feel
Marshall
about it,
Time?
man? What do you feel about your Super Bowl picks? You talked about the Dolphins. I think you had the Eagles going as well, didn't you?
Yep, I sure did.
And you picked
I
the
had the
Dolphins to win the
Eagles.
Super Bowl.
You damn right, and I'm going to stick with that with Tua as my
Oh,
MVP.
wow!
Hey,
Look at him! Look at
I am
him! Let's
not.
go,
I'm
Miami.
not backing off on that. Miami is the fastest team on grass in the NFL. It
That
doesn't
is
matter
true.
what you do. Um, uh, Tua is the number one question. He did what he had to do. My question is in this whole scenario, okay, we know what's going to happen when they come out and take the field, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're going to see Tyreek and Waddle streaking the field, stretching the field, doing their dumps and quick. They're going to do their thing. We're going to see Moser toting the ball. We're going to see that offensive line stay steady up front. I'm a little questionable on that offensive line after what happened to Tua, but I know Miami's done the necessary on offense and defense. My question is, how is he going to respond to his play calling? Is he still going to put Tua under that pressure, or is he going to try to find a way to take some of that off of him? That's my big question on him.
Well,
I
I think he's
really,
going to run the ball more. I think he's going to. He even said that last year. He said, I felt bad that I didn't run the ball more, and I think he's going to, give the ball more and run it out. They drafted a good rookie too coming out. So they got a really good three-headed back system when Jeff Wilson comes back off of IR.
when he comes back, I was going to say that, but they got a young back behind him. He's going to surprise a lot of people, and a lot of people don't know who he is right now. I don't know fully who he is. I've read a little bit about him. I don't want to harp too much on him because I want everybody to take this in as it comes forward.
Oh yeah,
But as I said, I love Tua as an MVP. He's going to put up those numbers. He's going to launch that football, and he's got two of the fastest guys on grass with the best hands to catch the ball. Okay, that's really good. But last year we had the same matchup in week 1, did we not? That did not fare well.
Was it week
Well,
1?
well,
They did have
no,
the same
it's
matchup.
week 1 this week.
Yeah,
They had
yeah.
the same matchup. It's week 1 this week, is what I mean. Let me reclarify that and reiterate that.
Yeah, Tua had
But
a very,
we had
very
to.
bad experience.
We had presented the same matchup, but now, okay, couple different scenarios. We got Kellen Moore at offensive coordinator for Los Angeles Chargers.
True.
Taking over there. I don't think that hinders a whole lot of what they're going to do because they know who they got in the quarterback. Okay, but Miami's still got to travel all the way to California. They still have to go there, and traditionally, Miami
They're not a
Dolphins,
West Coast team.
they're not a
They're
West
not- they
Coast
struggle on
team.
the West Coast.
You know that. Look at that hat you got on there,
Oh,
buddy.
yeah, man. Trust me.
But what I think will happen in this game, even though they got to go way over there, Miami Dolphins, number one, Tua has got something to prove. Okay. I do pick Los Angeles to win this game, but only by 1 point. And I think it's going to be a last-second field goal. I think it's going to be a very big barn burner. I hope it is. I hope this, and it could be a shootout.
Wow,
It could be
Donnie
a
Mac throwing out
last-second
his pick for
touchdown.
The Dolphin Charger game already. Picking
I
the
love the
Chargers by
Dolphins.
1.
Right off the rip, just because
Wow.
they can go regroup and realize what they have to
Listen,
do
man.
this season.
Since you threw out your pick for this game right here, I got to throw out my pick now. I'm being a little bit of a homer here, but I think the West Coast thing's not going to be as big of a deal this time because they had plenty of
I
time to
hope
go
it's
over there
not.
and get accustomed. I think they did that pretty early this time instead of having to go in the middle of the week and then doing it. So I think it's going to be a big advantage, and I think Miami's going to come out firing, man. I think they're going to come out and they're going to win by. I think they're going to win by 10, honestly.
That's a very good point, Marshentime. They've had a lot of time to study this. They've had a lot of time to be over there. They've had a week to be over there and adjust to everything that they have to adjust to.
Oh yeah, I think they're ready.
I love that point behind that, and you know what? Tua should have a little bit of splinter up under his thumb right now because he's got a lot of naysayers behind his back.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big believer. I'm not a naysayer. I just don't like the way Miami travels. I really don't. I think they're going to lose this on the last-second field goal or a touchdown. Marshentime, that's first one we disagree on. If you look behind
I'm sure it
Marshentime,
won't
you're going to be
the
you're going to see a series of 6 games there on his board, okay? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go head-to-head to those 6 games, and whoever wins, we're going to talk shit about each other next
Of
week,
course.
okay?
And if you
That's
guys
it.
have watched all
So-
of our other episodes, you know who always wins. So if you're betting money, don't be betting on Donnie Mac. I'm just saying, guys.
Hey, if you watch the other episodes, I told you who's going to win a couple times. But listen, since we're going to start...
Whoa, you only said it the once, man. I don't want to hear it. I got my other
Yeah,
sign
you're
over
right.
there if you want
You're
me
right.
to grab it for you.
You're
bud.
right. You're right.
got my
I only
sign
said
right
it
over
once when I was actually prepared for the game. Actually, let's shoot. Let's go ahead and shoot to your board back there. We're
Let's
not
do
going
it,
to waste
man.
any time. KC, Detroit, we're going to save for our last topic because
course,
there's a
'cause
few
we're-
things I want to
it's
say
night.
on.
It's tonight.
Hey, let's jump straight to Cincinnati and Cleveland, Marshentime. I
Cleveland,
mean,
buddy. Hey, man, you're the
Joe
Cincinnati
Burrow-
fan. You the guy. What you thinking? What you thinking, man?
well, you know
Joe
I'm
Burrow's
taking my
hurt.
boys.
He's hurting.
I got to take my boys. I'm never going to go against them. I'm not biased, but Cleveland
He's
with
biased.
Deshaun Watson, I just don't believe in this guy. I don't believe in their offense.
But
Yeah,
do you
their
believe in Nick
defense.
Chubb?
I do believe in Nick Chubb, but that's a one-dimensional offense at that point. That's
Yeah,
a
but your
one
defense
down.
can't stop him anyway before. So I mean, why are they going to
Well,
stop
they
him
got
now?
a young secondary. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. But that
Ooh, that's-
defensive
that's
line,
scary.
Cincinnati can get after the football, and everybody knows that. On the offensive side of the
Listen,
ball,
man.
the offensive. Hey, let me talk for a second, buddy. Keep your lips sealed, okay? On the offensive side of the. We got some questionable offensive line things, but they've shored that up just a little bit. Now, here's the big factor. Young secondary for Cincinnati, right? You got a really good defensive line for that Cleveland defense, right? With Myles Garrett and the
Oh,
other boy they
huge.
picked up from that's a big pass rush. Now, here's the big factor. This is going to be a close game. They are in Cleveland, correct?
They are.
They are in Cleveland. This is going to be a close game. Here's the question: can Joe Burrow get through this whole calf injury if he gets pressured? Here's a big
Got some
stat for
scary
you.
guys coming down.
ESPN Next Gen Stats said Joe Burrow outside the pocket on the run for the most difficult passes in the NFL last year was number one. If he can't do that in this game, Marshentime, he's in trouble. He is in trouble if he has no mobility outside of that pocket, and if he's afraid, if he shows any kind of hiccup, anything like that, it's going to cause a big problem.
I'm going to be honest with you, buddy. Cincy Cleveland is going to be a big game, and I think Cleveland's going to shock you guys. I really do. I think they're going to be smarter with what they did last year. Nick Chubb's not going to get pulled out. Nick Chubb's going to run all over you guys, I have to tell you.
Hey.
Nick Chubb is going to have a monster game. I'm saying 130 for like 2 TDs.
Not happening.
Huge
Not happening.
Game. Yeah, because
they're going to stack the box. They're going to stack the box, buddy.
You can't. You have too young of a secondary, man. You're going to have safety help for your secondary. I'm sorry, man. And Amari Cooper's going to have a good game this week. I'm telling you.
I like Amari. I really like Amari. I really do.
Man. He's going to put your corners on blast, and corners are going to have to get safety help. And guess what? Chubb's going to run over your linebackers. So
hey, if that happens,
I'm going with Cleveland.
Okay, good call, Marshentime. Like I said, you can tell by the way I'm talking about that matchup. First of all, I'm a little bit in question, but I'm not going against Joe Burrow. Because if Joe Burrow is in that pocket, listen, he proved it in the AFC playoffs. He got sacked 8 times and still went to the freaking Super Bowl,
yeah,
brother.
But his calf wasn't hurting. He couldn't move around a little bit more, man.
That's what I'm saying. If he could still move, I just put that next-gen stat out there. If he can still move. That quick release is nothing, bro. That quick release is nothing, man.
You got a scary defensive line coming at him. He can't move very well. Your offensive line did not get shirred up enough. I'm sorry. He's going down.
That goes back to that AFC North, man. Cleveland, Cincinnati, Baltimore, it doesn't matter. Pittsburgh.
You brought in Baltimore. Baltimore's got a pretty easy game this week.
Let's go. Baltimore Broncos.
No, they're not even on here, man, but they got a pretty easy game. I picked them for my Survivor League, so thank you for bringing them in. But let's go on. Let's go for the Raiders-Broncos, buddy. We talked about
Raiders-Broncos.
West.
Man,
that's a tough matchup.
This is a really tough matchup, and just so our listeners know, before we launch this podcast, Marshentime kind of hashed over this board behind him, and we agreed that we're going to disagree on 5 out of 6 of them, man. I mean, we both said that
5 out of 6, but at least 3 out of 6 we were definitely going to disagree on.
We both said that.
Interesting game, though.
The Raiders and Broncos are nonetheless going to be probably the same thing. I'm taking the Broncos on this reason here. Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm not a believer. I haven't been a believer since Team 1, Team 2, and now Team 3. I see a Devontae Adams running wide open down the field, not getting a freaking football. That's just what I see. I hate to say that. I'm a big Devontae Adams fan. Everybody knows that if they listen to this. I'm taking the Broncos. I think Sean Payton is one of the best quarterback coaches around, and I think he will still steer Russell Wilson in the correct position to win this freaking football game. He will score.
I agree.
I think he will score a last or even put him in place to kick a field goal to win this game.
I figured I might as well grab this just in case. Just so everybody can see that. I figured I'd grab that part, buddy, just so everybody knew the scores.
So you're taking the Broncos also?
Dude, I'm taking the Broncos for one reason.
Okay.
Their defense is scary good.
Yeah. They're sick.
They were good last year, and Russell Wilson couldn't get them wins, and they were on the field all game long. I think with Sean Payton, they're going to keep the ball more. They're going to keep the defense off, and the defense is going to end up winning the games.
They're going to control that football.
That's the one reason I'm going with the Broncos over the Raiders. And another reason, they're in Denver. Home field advantage. That's huge.
You're a mile high, man. Exactly. It's hard to play football up there, dude.
Yeah, I know. You get winded quickly, man.
Hey, you need a little bit of oxygen up there if you're not
You know,
used to it, bro. If
exactly.
you've ever
You
been to
know,
Colorado, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, 100%. Up there you need the oxygen. Down south in Miami, you need the water. So, it's home field advantages are big, and that's why I think the Broncos are going to win this game.
All right, buddy. Let's
All
slide
right,
on to the next game. It's your
move on to the
pick
next one.
behind there.
Let's see. We got
KC and Detroit are our last
last
game,
one. Yeah, we're not
dude.
doing that one.
Okay.
Let's see.
So where are we sliding to now?
We'll save the Monday night one for our second to last one. Then, okay? We'll go with the Sunday night. We'll go with the Cowboys versus the Giants. Now we're talking the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy's taking over a little bit of the play calling for the Cowboys again. They released Kellen Moore, which I don't really like. I liked Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore was putting up some crazy points.
That's why they scored a lot last year.
This is how I'm going to do this. I'm going to break this down by position to see who I feel is going to win because I think this is a decent matchup.
Take off, buddy.
Quarterbacks, you got Dak Prescott against Danny Dimes. I put Dak Prescott a little bit above Danny Dimes.
I do too.
Now the running back position, Saquon Barkley against Tony Pollard. We don't really know what Tony Pollard's going to do.
We don't.
But I'm still putting Saquon Barkley a little bit above.
He had those flashes last year.
He
had
did,
those flashes when he had his chances. We're a big believer in Pollard. You got to go with Saquon, man. He's proven.
The offensive line is where I think is going to be the big difference. Because both defenses are good, but I think the Cowboys have the edge on the defense, and the Cowboys have the edge on the offensive line. And I will give the Giants have an offensive lineman over there, Evan Neal, who's from Okeechobee. I love the guy. I root for him every time. I hope he gets better, but I still got to go with the Cowboys. I'm sorry, Evan. My heart goes out to you, buddy, but I got to
Evan, I'm with you, brother. I'm following you, man. I'm going the opposite direction.
The main thing, man. I'm sorry. Man, you're out of your mind.
Listen. I'm going Danny Dimes has got a security blanket. He's got Saquon. He's got an offensive line. The hell with that Dallas defense, okay? He's got an offensive line. Those linebackers in Dallas ain't worth a fuck. And I'm going to tell you that now. I'm sorry for that F-bomb.
Micah Parsons, dude, is pretty fucking insane.
Listen.
Crazy there, buddy.
Waller is going to gut the inside of this field. Saquon Barkley is going to bounce outside. He's going to bounce inside. Danny Dimes ain't going to have a lot to do with this game, okay? The people they hired to bring on to help them for that's what's going to help Danny Dimes. I'm taking the Giants by 3 over the Cowboys at home, buddy.
Hey, guys,
at
I just
home.
want you to know this. If you're betting on it, just look at the sign. Look at the sign. Just so you guys know.
I'm taking that set. I think they were giving them 6 points on the parlay. I really do. And I'm taking every bit of them.
I mean, yeah, if you're getting 6 points, I'm probably taking the Giants too because I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Cowboys defense is what ends up winning it.
I'm not a believer in Dak Prescott. I'm so sorry. I think he's going to make some huge mistakes in this game. It's the first game jitters, and it's going to be in the first half, and it's going to cost him because the Giants can control the ball.
Right,
Giants can control.
Moving on to Monday night, man.
Let's do it.
To Monday night. We got him up there. You got the AFC East up there. AFC East, huge matchup. Bills versus Jets. Aaron Rodgers coming out his first game. Man, where are you going with this? You going Josh Allen, you going Aaron Rodgers. Where are you going with this, man? This is crazy.
You know what? Through 2020, and I'm going to talk fantasy numbers. I'm going to elaborate a little bit. We got about 7 minutes left to do this NFL. Fantasy numbers through 2020, 2021, Josh Allen was probably the most prolific fantasy quarterback ever. I mean, this guy is good, but you back up. You put a good defensive line, and you put them in their face, okay? Not only that, you back it up with a good secondary, and then you put a good offense on the other side of the ball. This thing right here becomes a battle of the AFC East. It's a very scary game. You have to give the 3-point edge to the Jets because they're at home. Jets. You can see Fireman Ed out there on the field right now. You can see him right now just chanting J-E-T.
Yeah, you're right.
This is going to be an epic game. This is going to be a great opener for the Jets. I'm taking the Jets by 3.
Wow.
Home opener.
Wow.
Jets by 3. Sauce
Man.
Gardner gets a pick. I'm thinking Garrett Wilson gets at least 106 yards with 2 touchdowns.
Wow. All right, man. This game is going to be such a fun game to watch, and I'm kind of excited to watch this game. I don't know who to go with in this pick, man. This is a crazy game to play.
I know you're a Buffalo fan. I know you
I'm
are.
really, yeah, well, yeah.
I know you are.
Neither one of these guys I'm a fan of, but listen, the Jets have so much offensive firepower, but the Bills kind of settled their stuff with Stephon Diggs and everything, and I think that's going to be a big thing. Dawson Knox is a great tight end for Buffalo. Buffalo's offensive line, I think, is a little bit better than the Jets' offensive line. That's where I'm going with. I'm going with the offensive line boys. Because we don't know the Jets' offensive line. We seen them last year. What did they do? They were horrible. Aaron Rodgers is not the young whippersnapper that he used to be. He's not going to run outside the pocket like he used to do. And that's what Josh Allen is so good at. Josh Allen, he's scary fast for how big of a dude he is. Like,
He's a big guy.
I'm getting out of the way, man. I'm sorry. He's huge and he moves. Like, I'm getting out of the way. I'm going.
I don't want to be hit by him.
His legs is going to be the difference, and he ends up running in with like 20 seconds to go. He runs a great play. He gets into the field goal range, and they kick a field goal to win by 2.
I like that vision. I love that vision, Marshentime. I love that vision. Even though you're fucking totally wrong, I love that vision. I love that vision. Hey, so we've got one. We have agreed on one game this whole time right now. Let's shoot to the Dolphins and the Chargers.
Well,
you already know.
One,
you already know. One team, we got one left. We're kicking off
the last
tonight.
One, man. The kickoff game.
Take over, Marshentime.
Listen,
what
man.
the hell is going to happen on Thursday night football, brother?
What's
going to
tonight
happen,
football, man? We're not talking Thursday night. We're talking.
We're talking tonight.
Right now. We're talking.
Right
no
now.
Travis Kelce though. No Chandler Jones, man. Kansas City's
both of
looking
them
a little
out.
scary. It's looking a little scary for him, man. And
Hey,
Detroit,
Marshentime, hold on. They got one guy, one very important guy left on that roster.
Who are you talking about, man? I don't know what you're talking about.
Sir Patrick Mahomes. That's who I'm talking about.
Sir Patrick Mahomes.
Sir Patrick Mahomes.
You're talking
yeah.
about the guy who's was hurt last year and still won the Super Bowl?
That's the guy I'm talking about. That's the guy. Yep.
He's pretty good. But you know who Detroit has? You know who Detroit has?
Who they have?
Jared Goff, and I think he's going to have a breakout season again. And I'm going with the Detroit Lions. At home against KC, the Detroit Lions win this game. Huge upset. They win by 7.
Oh, my God. Wow. Marshentime, you blew my mind. You absolutely blew my mind, dude.
Who is Patty Mahomes going to throw to? I mean, he's got nobody to throw to. He's got Kadarius Toney, who's probably going to get hurt in the second quarter and leave the game.
Oh, what happened to Schuster?
Juju went to New England.
Oh, man, I'm with you on that. Detroit wins this game by at least 10 points. I'm going higher than Marshentime.
Wow.
I'm going higher than Marshentime. Our boy St. Brown is going to light up the board. First of all, they got a rookie running back over there nobody's ever heard of, Marshentime. And when he starts hitting that, Jahmyr Gibbs, exactly. Oh, I am so excited to see this kid play. I am so excited. It's like Saquon Barkley when he came out of Penn State. I was so excited to see. Man, is he looking so good. I can't wait to see this happen. No Chris Jones on defense. He hasn't signed his contract. Let me throw some stats out at you, Marshentime. Chris Jones had 15 and a half sacks last year. You know who the closest guy was to him and how many he had?
Probably Bosa or TJ Watt.
No, on the same team is what I'm talking about.
Team?
On the same team, yeah. There was nobody close to him. The closest person to him had 6 sacks. After that was 4, 3, 2, and 1. Without Chris Jones, he's making his bid for the highest, even over Bosa, the highest paid football player in history, and he's going to do it. Watch this. if it hasn't signed 20 seconds ago, if he hasn't signed a $250 million contract 20 seconds ago, it's going to happen in the first 4 weeks. Watch what happens. Without Chris Jones, that defense is nothing. There is a lot of things Detroit can do that is going to expose this defense without a pass rush. And it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. At least 10 points on the home side of the Detroit Lions, okay?
Hey, I'm with you, man. We agreed on 2 games. That's pretty impressive.
2 of them. We did pretty good, Marshentime. We don't agree.
Man.
Hey, and I can tell you guys as listeners, we don't agree on a lot of stuff, Marshentime and I. We go back and forth. Look, I might choose his team, but he's going to choose mine. That's how bad we disagree.
It's weird.
We disagree so bad. We don't mesh. It's like water. Hey, it's like water and oil. Your sign needs to hit the floor because you know what?
Well, it did.
Hey, that's a sign right there. That is a sign,
that's a sign
from the
I just dropped my mic and went 4-0, buddy.
That's a sign against the sign that 0-3 is not going to last. But Marshentime, you know what? I think that's all for the kickoff episode, brother.
I agree, man. Hey, we're excited. We're going to go watch some football, guys. Come and join us in Discord every once in a while, guys. We're having fun. We're going to joke around. We're going to enjoy it. You know.
And join us next week on Thursday Night Live, YouTube, 863 SportzBuzz Podcast.
We'll be doing some more picks again. We'll be doing some more picks. We'll be joking around with each other. And hey,
you know, throw some questions in there.
Alabama, Texas, man. We're waiting for that game too. So we'll be talking about
Alabama,
that
Texas.
sure.
Hey, we're going to say that real quick. That's a big, top 25 matchup, Alabama, Texas. There's another one going on, not as important, but Alabama, Texas. Arch Manning, Nick Saban. Is Arch Manning going to get to play? That's the big question. I don't like the coach's responses. I know you don't either. Everybody wants to see Arch play, right? But we want to see this top 25. I want to see Texas take down Alabama. I'm going to be point blank. I want to see them take them down.
It's just Alabama. Hey, sign us off, though, Donnie Mac. Let's see you all next week, buddy. Sign us off.
No problem, brother. Hey, thanks for joining us now. Weekly update, NFL kickoff tonight, Kansas City, Detroit Lions. That's Marshentime. I'm Donnie Mac. This is 863 SportzBuzz Podcast. We'll catch you next week.